Welcome to the final days. Today is March 26, 2022. I've got some very exciting footage to share that came from the Alaskan FAA weather cameras this month. In this video, we will see black streams spewing from an atmospheric hole, a gigantic metallic planet rolling across Alaska, and several different massive rotating crater-pocked planets from as far south as Mississippi and as far north as Alaska. The purpose of this channel is to show viewers that we are living in the very last days according to the Holy Bible. Our first video came from the east-facing weather camera in Takotna, Alaska. Very hidden in the atmospheric chemicals is a red, crater-pocked, fast-rotating planet. We will view it as it came off the camera first, then again with some contrast. This contrast really allows us to see color and details that would normally be missed. For several reasons, we know this cannot possibly be a lens flare of the sun. The most obvious is its fast rotation. The same reasoning applies here to the fast-rotating planet viewed from Wolf Creek Pass, Colorado. This particular planet makes one full rotation every 5 hours. Our sun only rotates once every 27 Earth days. Thus, this object cannot possibly be a lens flare of the sun. Now, many of you have seen this planet before in older footage from this very same camera. But the reason I'm showing it here today is because I wanted to demonstrate how this same planet is viewable from several different cameras located in completely different parts of the world. In the Bible's book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, Jesus tells us that we will see signs in the sky when the end is near. Folks, we are very, very close to the time that Jesus will be coming to remove his faithful believers from this earth before the wrath of God comes down. This is often referred to as the rapture of the church, which is mentioned in many different places throughout the Bible. The Bible tells us in several different places that the faithful believers in Christ are not appointed to God's wrath during the end days. A few weeks ago, God gave me a vision that applied to the end of time. In this vision, I saw the earth, and then next I saw the United States as if I were looking at a very big globe. And as I was looking at the entire U.S. in this vision, I saw God's judgments and wrath pouring down upon the nation, kind of like a black rain. I couldn't exactly tell what it was. It was a little vague. It just looked like black particles just coming down, pouring down, down upon everywhere. It was just everywhere. But scattered across the country were invisible domes, kind of like gigantic plastic bubbles. I can't explain it any other way. And that these bubbles were not being affected by the damaging wrath that was pouring down around these protective domes. A silent voice in the vision told me that underneath these protective domes were God's faithful and praying believers. In some instances, entire towns were protected, and in other cases I saw households that were being protected. So be encouraged, saints of God. He will provide the very same level of protection to his faithful believers that he bestowed upon the Israelites from all the plagues described in the book of Exodus. Next, we will see an atmospheric hole viewed from the south-facing weather camera in Ruby, Alaska. Now, we've seen these atmospheric holes in the past, but this is the first time I've ever seen anything actually coming out of one. And at the end of this footage, I'll show some close-ups of this atmospheric hole so that you can actually see close up something black spewing out of it. Look closely at this frame. In the top left corner of the screen, something black is coming out of this atmospheric hole. So after we play through this to the end, there are two blow-ups of this same frame and another one that we'll look closer at. In these close-ups, you can see that something black is spewing out of the atmospheric hole. There's a lot of light glare in this one, making it a bit difficult to see, but it's there. I don't have any labels for these things, but I can just tell you that these are signs that we are living in the very last days. Referring to the Bible verse I read just a minute ago, exactly who will Jesus come for just before God's wrath rains down upon this world full of sin and abomination? In the Bible's book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, Jesus tells us that we will see signs in the sky when the end is near. And in Luke chapter 21, verse 36, Jesus says, "Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass." Jesus is referring to God's wrath, his judgments, plagues. He is saying that those who are counted worthy will escape God's wrath. To be counted worthy, we must be living in holiness. A link in the description box below discusses what holiness is and how to achieve it. Part of God's wrath is the destruction brought on by the close proximity of this foreign solar system that has now intermingled with ours, and you're seeing part of it in this video right here. Many places in the Bible promise us that those living in holiness are not appointed to God's wrath. God will be removing his faithful praying remnant before his wrath is poured out upon a world full of sin and abomination. The Lord wants me to pass along a special message to everyone who will be left behind after God removes his faithful believers from this earth. Everyone has a chance to be found worthy to escape the coming wrath. No one is excluded, no matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter. You can be forgiven for anything. But the vast majority of the world's population will choose to not be found worthy to escape the coming wrath, and will have to remain here during an unbearable time that the Bible calls the Great Tribulation. Those escaping God's wrath are those found worthy by living in holiness. Instructions are at the end of this video telling you how to accept Jesus Christ into your life and to become counted worthy to escape the coming wrath. When you look into the mirror, you are only seeing a temporary flesh body that God has given you for a temporary amount of time. The real you is not what you see in the mirror. You are an eternal spirit. The only reason that you have been sent into this temporary life is to give you the opportunity to learn how to choose to love Jesus Christ by your own free will and to live your life according to that love. You have complete free will to decide where your spirit will spend eternity after you leave this earth, be it heaven or hell. Both places are very, very real. You can see from this video that there's not much time left to decide where your eternal spirit will go to spend eternity. Many people mistakenly believe that all good people automatically go to heaven. This is a lie from the demonic realm. Heaven is only available to those who have accepted Jesus into their hearts and lives, and it's available to everyone, everywhere. People ask, why can't a good person go to heaven just by being good? Bill Weiss gives a great analogy of why simply being good does not get a person into heaven. Let's say you walk up to the door of the finest house in the country and you knock on the door. When the owner answers the door, you say, "I'm a good person. I'm moving in." The house owner says, "I don't know you. Go away." It's exactly the same with heaven. You can't just live your whole life without praying, believing, reading the Holy Bible and trusting in Jesus Christ, and then one day go knocking on heaven's door expecting to enter. It just doesn't work that way. Being found worthy as a believer is much more than holding an opinion that he is God and that he died on a cross. Even the demonic realm believes that. Even Satan believes that. You must be walking with Jesus daily through obedience, prayer, and Bible reading. You must make him the biggest part of your life. The next few screens will tell you how to accept Christ into your life. Thanks for watching this video.